You know what we can run?
An anime podcast.
Welcome back.
Hey, everybody.
New Year?
Didn't we record one? No, we didn't. Right. Wait,
Happy New Year.
No, we didn't. Yeah. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy, hopefully better year. But New Year, new anime. We spoke about this last time.
Yes. Welcome, everybody, to the winter season. Hope you enjoy your stay.
It's finally in full effect this week. I think every winter show has at least had one episode out.
Yep.
Some has 3, but you know, it's fine.
Yeah, what's important is that we all got a little glimpse into all the shows we're going to be watching this season. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, if you couldn't guess.
So we have a total between the two of us 10 shows.
Yes. 8 on Swarm's end and 4 on my end, with 2 shows that we overlapped on.
Yes, and I'm also going to be talking about 2 shows that I'm going to be starting within the coming week. Without further ado, I think we have to kick it off with what I'm already dubbing my anime of the year for 2021.
Really?
Already dubbing. And that's Horimiya.
Okay, so we're starting off with Horimiya. All right. Yes. So this is going to be the whole podcast. This is going to be me and Frank gushing about Horimiya, I suppose.
It's so good.
When I watched this, I was like, oh my god, this brings me right back. This is like everything about this is like pinnacle early 2010s romance and romantic comedy, and I love it so much.
Exactly. Like, I felt myself back in like 2012 when I first started reading the manga, and the memories flowing back of how things go and just seeing those translated into I'm going to say a better representation, because they did have the short series and that was cool, but I think they're giving it full justice now.
And it looks great. Yeah, speaking of memories of this, I want to ask you a quick question. Did you also forget that Miyamura had the lip ring that chained to his ear? Because I was looking at that, be like, wait, did he have that in the manga?
Yeah, I remember that.
I forgot about that because after the first chapter, he doesn't do it again. Because he always has less piercings. He only has like 1 on each ear every time after that.
Yeah, so after that, he tries to be like a bit more tame about it, but
so I just completely forgot about the lip ring that chained onto his ear.
But yeah, I really enjoy the portrayal of a lot of these characters. And Cloverworks is one of my favorite studios. So I'm very excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, they're not my favorite studio, but I will say they've definitely really picked up on the romance genre more recently than studios that I had preferred for over time. You know, JC Staff and Dogakobo haven't really pulled it as much as I hope, and Cloverworks is really filling that void.
Oh yeah. Not to mention the work they're doing with we'll get into that later. But they're doing good work. The show looks amazing. The music in it's amazing. The opening, I am pleasantly surprised, and I love it.
It was a really, really fun opening. Definitely loved the little thing with like all the lines, and then they just make one big box.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very fun show. I'm really excited because I already know it's going to happen probably for this season of it, and I really do hope that we get more seasons of the show.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because man, I'm just really excited. You know, having had read this back in like 2016ish is when I stopped reading it. You know, just because of life and all. Everything I loved at that point, loved.
But yeah, there's gonna be 13 episodes, I believe, this time around. I'm hoping we either get an immediate season 2 announcement, or they just we get something. I need more because I know it's only been one episode, but I know I need more.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, I want to talk about because I know you haven't seen it, but show stuck out to me because of just how hilarious the premise was to me, and that was Heaven's Design Team. So have you heard anything about it?
I know of this. I saw a clip of this on YouTube. And basically it was about the creation of the giraffe.
Yes.
And that's
So
about my entire. I think I can get the idea of the show from that, though.
yes. So for anyone who hasn't heard of this show and they couldn't grasp it from the name, the show is about the process of God making all the animals of the earth, but he outsourced it to a design company. And it's a very I don't even want to say surreal, but just a very interesting choice of humor that follows the show and all of the characters as they design a lot of these creatures and present them to God. And I just think it's just a really nice comedy section to fill what otherwise is like a pretty serious season of anime. Because I can't think of many comedy shows that are out for this season.
I can think of a few, but yeah, definitely we have more serious shows than comedies this season.
Yeah.
I will say, while I haven't seen many of them, I do enjoy this emergence, I will say, of these shows that are like a fun show that's like really goes into direct. It's basically the giraffe. This isn't gonna work. It's like its neck is too long, and then they kind of go over the steps of like how well, it needs a long neck to get to high trees. Well, it can't drink water, and then you kind of go over those steps. So it's kind of fun to see like their way of trying to process that, and it's also kind of fun because when you realize, oh, that's literally how evolution works. It's just them overcorrecting after weird decisions.
Yep. And a lot of people don't like it when I say this. Well, from the people I spoke about, but this show heavily reminds me of Seton Academy. For those who don't know what Seton Academy was, it came out, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 seasons ago.
It came out last year. Yeah.
And it was basically, if you took the cult popular Cartoon Network show, My Gym Partner's a Monkey, you just replaced all of the female animals with anime girls, it's basically that.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's fine.
It's horrible.
It's okay. But it's that same thing
trash.
where what?
It's harem trash.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
There was only one. It's fine. Whatever.
There was at least 2.
That's not the point. The point is it's the same kind of stylistic choice where they're in the midst of all their comedy, they're dropping in knowledge and facts and just interesting things to learn about what the show is entailing. In this case, they both happen to do with animals.
Yeah, I would more compare this to something like Cells at Work, as these are a bit more of personifications of more scientific things or like more ethereal things. Cells at Work being parts of your body, where it's Heaven Design Team being angels, or from my point of view, allegories for evolution.
Yeah, basically. But so that's that one. Let's talk Gate the Infinity.
All right, yes, Skate the Infinity. Okay, I'm gonna say this show is so pretty.
It really is.
It is so beautiful. Like the CG is passable, which is so good. They only use it like for the stage, like what I'm gonna call it, and okay, it doesn't look great if you really focus on it, but because of the high speed of the show and it's really engaging visuals otherwise, you hardly notice it.
Yeah, top tier work. Anytime that an anime by Bones comes out, you know you're in for something amazing.
Yeah, if you want great action animation, Bones is your people, and they delivered. This will probably be my favorite show this season.
Really?
Yes.
No, I find that interesting.
I'm not gonna I'm only because I'm taking Horimiya out of it because I know I already have my set opinions about Horimiya from reading the manga. So if I'm talking about stuff that I'm experiencing more for the first time, Skate is definitely it's really high up there.
I see. But yeah, Skate the Infinity, all the characters seem to have a good level of depth to them so far. I can't wait to see the kind of friendships and rivalries that develop as the show goes on. And I really want to see what S has to offer as far as being the ultimate stomping grounds for skaters.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to bring up one that I know you are probably staying away from. And that's I'm a spider, so what? I'm not gonna lie. I have a prejudice.
Right.
Against how do I say this? Against certain shows and mangas where the theme of it is to reanimate a bunch of people at one time. Like, I'm fine with normal isekais, but for them to just immediately take out an entire high school class and then just reanimate them, I typically have problems with that kind of format as a premise. That's not my problem with this show, actually. I don't think they did it great, but I don't see a problem with how they did it so far. The problem that I'm running into is accepting the CG. Because it's not bad CG. It's not bad at all. But it's just not the best to me. It looks a little wonky at times a lot. And I know that Millie Pinsey did a good amount of work on this. I know them from Copcraft. I loved Copcraft. But the comedic content of this show, I think, is A1. I think that they're doing a perfect job capturing certain emotions and portrayals of character mental status of what would happen being placed in a situation like this. And I'm actually really excited to see where it goes. But again, I have to get used to the CGI before I can give it my official stamp of approval.
While we're on the subject of CGI, there's a show I really want to talk about.
Lay it on me.
Can we please talk about Scar on the Praetor?
Sure, tell me about it.
This is the ugliest show that I have seen in a while.
So, and which one is this? What
Scar on the Praetor is the new Gohan's show.
Oh,
this show is so ugly. Like, it is bafflingly ugly. And my god, I'm not sure if oh my god. Okay, so to explain just how ugly the show is. So this is all the characters are supposed to be like these pretty boys, and so they're all dressed, in typical pretty boy fashion, jeans, tucked in shirt, jacket, whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have really big eyes, but like sometimes their eyes are too big. It's really distracting, and then also their faces just have to mesh because their eyes are weirdly big. There are also a couple of these that I looked at and be like, that's clearly a woman, and then a man's voice comes out. But that's not even touching the iceberg of how ugly the show is.
Really?
Every background in this show looks like it was made in Gmod. There is this cafe that they're in, and it literally looks like it was made in Gmod. All the pillows have the same. This is all CG, and it was not clear. All the pillows have the exact same texture but different shapes, and it's all like it's not even trying to look 2D in any way. Everything is reflective, but it can't reflect the 2D models because that's not how that works.
Mm-hmm.
And there are just like really square books on shelves, and like it's just like an actual cafe that was made in Gmod, and then everything outside are all these really generic streets. But again, it's all CG. It looks like a level from Half-Life that they are running through, and they all have really CG guns that are also really, really reflective, but against nothing because they're 2D characters holding these. There's nothing to reflect.
You make me kind of want to go see this now.
I will. I'm not gonna don't watch the whole thing. It's really bad. I don't even remember what the plot is. It's something about people with magical tattoos. But
people with magical tattoos.
And it's just so ugly. Like it hurt to watch. I watched the whole episode just because I needed to see like how bad this goes. And also, it's not like there's any redeeming qualities about this. The action looks terrible. It's just a lot of people running at Dutch angles.
Really?
It's a lot of that. And all of the dialogue is one of two things. Either it is exposition or it is someone making a quip. That is all the dialogue there is. It'll either be like, so you're the hero of Akatsuki, aren't you? I heard stuff about you. Or it'll be like, so you're a fan of mine. They say this guy calls this other guy a fan of his like 8 times in this first episode.
Gosh, I need to see how bad it is now. I have to.
I will try to find a scene for you that will be emblematic of all of this, just so you can see how bad it gets.
All right, because that sounds hilarious.
Yeah, this is a great season if you want to see terrible CG. Because I'm assuming neither of us watched.
Watched what?
X-Arm.
I have not. I've heard about it.
Don't
watch. Yeah, I've heard about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring up these 2 animes that I've spoken about before, and I'm going to wrap them both up in one short little mini rant. But for 2.43 and Skate Leading Stars, you Haikyuu and Yuri on Ice fans, I swear, if you don't come out and support these shows, I will hunt you down and make sure you never get another season or movie. Because we need more shows like this that are showing off just sports in their natural environment and how they should be portrayed in an anime setting. Because a lot of these sports are, when they do it in like a completely weird fashion. But these shows are trying to give you the nitty gritty the same way that Yuri on Ice or Haikyuu has delivered before. And JC staff is doing an excellent job on Skate Leading Stars. It's gripping storytelling. It's beautiful animation. It's an interesting sport that not a lot of people know about. And for even if you do know a lot about the sport, David Production is making 2.43, a very, very, very beautiful representation of what it's like for a junior high school volleyball team. So go watch it. Other than that, a show that really stood out to me. Have to look at the name because it's so long. Suppose a kid from the last Dungeon Boonies moved to a starter town. Presently surprised. It's your typical OP protagonist in a normal setting, but there's, at least from what I've seen so far, there's a lot of subtle, like really serious notes underlining the entire show underneath like the layers of comedy and just bombastic OP that I think make the show very interesting so far. And I'm very, very, very interested to see what happens next. I don't know if you, well, I know you haven't seen it, but I don't know if it's on your radar.
No, it's not.
That's fine.
I mean, do you think that someone with my kind of taste would be into the show? Is the question I'm going to pose to you.
I would think that as far as the first 2 episodes have gone, it seems like a show that you could get into.
Okay.
I can't speak for the entire time, but for, at least for the 2 I've seen, I would think you would have an alright time with it.
Okay. In that case, I'll give the first episode a shot, and I'll give some short thoughts next episode.
Do you have any others? Because if not, I have
my last one is Promised Neverland Season 2.
Right.
Yeah, so I'll be brief about this. There isn't too much to talk about either. The first episode wasn't bad, but I will definitely say that there's no way they're going to be able to capture the magic of Season 1 just because of how the story has progressed. I still think it's going to be fine, but it's kind of, it doesn't have the same identity to it. I don't want to say too much just because I really don't want to spoil Promised Neverland, and because I think that everyone should watch this. If you are a fan of thriller kind of anime, absolutely go watch this. But definitely the Season 2 will not capture the same kind of magic, but I'm hoping that we'll still get a lot of enjoyment out of it.
I definitely want it. Not want it. I definitely want to see it. I just have to find time to, sit down and watch it. Because I recently went back and rewatched all of Log Horizon in preparation for this new season.
Oh, I take it that's what we're talking about next?
No.
Oh.
I'm just making that point so that when I do inevitably go on my Log Horizon rant, you'll know it's coming.
All right.
But the last show I'm going to talk about is actually bottom tier character Tomozaki. Because that's the other rom-com that I had to take a look at for this season to, see where it stood against Horimiya. And of course, it's way below in my terms of opinion because I've been following Horimiya for 9 years and I found out about this one maybe 3 weeks ago. But I think it's a good show. I think it's very hilarious to have I guess the only way to actually say this, socially inept character trying to navigate a normal life when all he can do is communicate in game lingo. So I think the dynamic is definitely there. The comedy aspects is there. I think the budding romance will probably have to come a little bit later in the show, but I see it going places that are not bad. And with that, I'm going to speak on the 2 shows that I'm going to be looking at going forward to add to my ever-growing list of things I'm watching this season. And the first one, I've heard a good amount of stuff about it, is Wonder Egg Priority.
Hmm.
That's another show from Cloverworks, and I've heard nothing but great things. So I'm very excited to see what happens with it.
Yeah, I've been kind of curious about that show too. It just wasn't like my highest priority, so I haven't watched it yet. But I have heard good things.
Yeah, and then the other one, I think it was Jobless Reincarnation. Is another one I've heard a lot about. So I think over these next week or two, those are definitely what I'm going to be looking for, as well as the ones that I've already spoke on. Do you have anything else on your list?
No, everything I watched so far is basically what I'm going to be watching besides Wonder Egg, as we just discussed.
I see.
Yeah. Oh, and I guess I also have to watch the first episode of Last Dungeon.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. This has been
We Can't Run,
an anime podcast.